testing the water seal of different lip balms.
For our experiment, our research question was, what lip balm has the best water seal and why?
Lev, you're muted.
Oh, I was muted. I've been talking for 10. Okay, so our background is, so first, what does it mean to have chapped lips? So having chapped lips means that the moisture has evaporated from your lips, thus making it like flaky and dry. The main things that cause chapped lips is cold weather, because the cold weather takes the moisture out of your lips and makes them dry, and licking your lips, because the saliva evaporates very quickly. So when you lick your lips, not only does the saliva evaporate, but along with like the moisture in your lips. So yeah. So what does lip balm do to chapped lips? Lip balm creates a seal over your lips, so no moisture can leave your lips, and it rehydrates your lips. Okay, so what ingredients make an effective lip balm? According to Domino magazine, lanolin is most effective because it's a substance that is naturally found on coats of sheep. And the molecular structure of the lanolin closely resembles the lipids that your lips fail to produce. Lipids are the things that moisturize your lips. Lip balms that contain lanolin mimic human oils very effectively. If not purified in the correct way, lanolin can be very dangerous and harmful to humans. Petroleum jelly, second most effective, is mainly composed of mineral oils and paraffin wax, a chemical preservative. It's very cost effective, so it's very cheap. It makes a protective barrier that prevents any excess moisture from leaving your lips, and has good short-term hydration, but doesn't have a good long-term effect on hydration. Then we have beeswax. The director of innovation at Englewood Lab, Mark Cornell, says that beeswax conditions lips and acts as a protective barrier to maintain moisture. It's very moisturizing. It's not suitable for vegans because it's beeswax. And if there's too much beeswax in the lip balm mixture, the lip balm could be chalky, and it's not very appealing. Okay, so our motivation. Our motivation was to find the best working lip balm so that people don't have to spend a lot of money on lip balms that don't work. We think that Carmex will create the longest seal because it contains lanolin, petroleum jelly, and beeswax, but mainly that it contains lanolin. And we thought that lanolin was the best best substance in lip balm.
The materials that we used were water, construction paper, 2 like boxes, a scapula, or isn't a scapula, water dropper, ruler, a pen or a pencil, timer, and the 4 different lip balms. So first, we needed a construction paper that allows the water to soak through. So we tried a bunch of different construction papers, and then when we found a construction paper that worked. And then second, we cut about 15 pieces of paper and drew 2 square centimeters on each piece of paper for the chapstick to go. Then we tested the control, which is just water and like no chapstick. And then to do the trials, we spread each lip balm on a different piece of paper in the square, and then we wrote the name on the paper. and then we put each paper between the two boxes so that we could see underneath. And then we put 5 drops of water on each of the lip balms and started a different timer for each one. And once the water soaked through, like you can see in the picture, we stopped the stopwatch and then we repeated steps 4 to 7 in order to conduct a total of 5 trials.
Okay, observations. So our control, which is water, it soaked through really quickly and like in a couple of seconds. So for CarMax, the water stayed on top of the paper the longest out of all the other lip balms, and the bottom of the paper was just a little wet compared to all the other lip balms, which became very wet very fast. So Vaseline, the lip balm was very thick and tinted, which made the water stay on top for the second longest. Aquaphor, when the lip balm applied to the paper, the paper became see-through. It was way thinner and glossier than Vaseline and Carmax. Mario de Bescio, water soaked through very quickly. Water was more flat when the water dropped onto the construction paper. The lip balm was foggy and very thin, but a little bit more thicker than Aquaphor.
So this is our data. We decided to do 5 trials so we could get the most accurate conclusion possible. And then we also have our control, which we only did 1 trial of. And this was our graph. And we decided to do it as a median instead of an average because we noticed that while doing trials, each of them had outliers. We felt that if we did it as an average, the graph wouldn't be as accurate. And we don't know why these outliers occur. There are possibilities that the air temperature was different amount of lip balm or water applied. And then, so while looking at our data, we noticed that Carmack lasted almost 15 times longer than My Badescu and Aquaphor, and almost 50% longer than Vaseline. And we think this happened because Carmex contain lanolin, petroleum, and beeswax. And as we stated earlier, these are the best ingredients to put in lip balm. So since it contained a combination of all these 3, it ended up being the best lip balm to apply. And our data that we collected, it is accurate because we think the rank is correct, but our data is not precise because we don't think the numbers are exact.
Okay, errors and limitations. We had 3 types of errors: a human error, the paper error, and the time. So for the human error, each trial, different people applied the water and applied the lip balm, so it might have had different amounts of water and lip balm. This could have affected our results, so the time could have been off. So paper, we use different type of construction paper for every trial. Each type of paper might have been thicker or thinner, and the different colors might have absorbed the water at different rates. The time might have been off. If the start and stop times were off, the data concluded in our experiment might have been inaccurate. Therefore, the result that our data found may not be correct.
And our conclusion, as we predicted Carmex agility would hold the longest seal, we were correct. And we recommend that if you want to buy a lip balm that is effective and will cause your lips to rehydrate in the most effective and timeliest way, buy Carmex or honestly anything that contains lanolin. And we wish that if we had more time, we could use a bigger sample size of lip balms and try to find any other ingredients that are effective in lip balms, and that our experiment may have not been precise, but still what we concluded and that what I've said in this slide is all correct. Questions and reference list.
Do we hit any questions?
Lynn, I don't know.
Karen.
So how do you guys know that the water seal on the lip balms correlates to how like effective it will be to hydrate your lips. Like, how does that correlate?
So pretty much what lip balm does is when you apply lip balm, it doesn't fully rehydrate your lips. It creates a seal, so no more moisture can leave your lips, which would cause your lips to rehydrate using however the lipids in your lips rehydrate. It does also help, but an important thing to having a good lip balm is that it creates a seal in order for your lips to be able to rehydrate by themselves.
Yeah, in order to make it so that your lips can rehydrate, it blocks off anything that's harming the lips from rehydrating.
Yeah, because if it was just rehydrating, still other moisture can leave your lips, right? You need to be able to block it off.
Karen.
I have a few questions. One is in the second class with the conclusion, you said that your conclusion was accurate, but your analysis was precise, or yeah, can you explain that a bit more?
So pretty much we think that like the ranking may have been correct, but like the actual numbers that we got, like yeah, we think Carmex is still the best lip balm, yet the time that it will last on your lips, like how long it will hold the seal, and maybe the time that like the numbers we got, like it lasted for let's say 20 minutes, it didn't. It may have not been exact, like precise.
Okay, and why did you only do one control trial?
Because like when you don't have, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but like when you don't have lip balm, that's what happens. So like the control is just like kind of like a base or like an outline for like what's gonna happen. So when you're not wearing lip balm and our control was like just the water. So when we put the control, it like imitated what happens when you don't have lip balm and when there's no water seal.
It pretty much proves that putting on lip balm is more effective than not putting on lip balm.
But only using one trial, couldn't that have affected
Sarah told us.
Yeah. So yeah, we were told that one trial of control is enough because it's much more time effective. And since there are less variables, there's less room for errors.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Galore.
So you guys said that the lips don't have lipids at the start, and then you need to hydrate it or do whatever with lip balm. But every so
We didn't say.
When your lips get chapped, it gets rid of that oil that makes your lips moisturized. By putting on the lanolin, which has the oil in it, it kind of like revives your lips. Does that make sense?
We didn't say that they had like lipids, but they had something that could like help the lipids. It's not like we're just like, it's kind of hard to.
It's like a substitute.
Yeah.
So you mean the cells don't have like a outer barrier to keep them from going through? So you're like making.
Well, when your lips are chapped, it loses that or it weakens it in a way.
Yeah, but you said it was lipids, not whatever you're saying it is.
We're saying lipids are like the thing that rehydrate your lips. Like the whatever, like molecular thing.
It's like what makes your lips hydrated. It's like the oil in your lips hydrated.
Sam.
In your errors, you said they use different types of construction paper. So for each like trial 1 used one type, trial 2 used another type, or did it just happen to be they used different types of paper?
Yeah. No, it's something like we were doing the trials and then we ran out of the green construction paper and then we used the next construction paper, which was blue. It wasn't like one construction paper was like 1 foot thick and the other one was 2 inches thick. it was closely the same thing, but maybe because of the different color, or it could have been different thickness, but it wasn't like by like a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that it? Any more questions?
I would like to, first of all, thank you all for being the last group to present. Sometimes, in some ways, harder than going first. So you gotta watch everybody else. This is a very interesting question, and I'm glad you guys investigated it. Particularly, I thought that the use of median instead of mean to evaluate your data was a good innovation because, as your data table showed us, a lot of your numbers were kind of all over the place, and that's a nice way to try to mitigate some of that. What do you think would be the next step in investigation of this project? Is there anything that you would maybe do differently that could maybe get you more precise results?
Yeah.
We wrote some. I don't remember which slide it was on, but on one of the slides we mentioned how like if we had more time, we'd go like further into like if like other lip balms with lanolin did the same effect.
Yeah, as I meant, I don't know if I said this, but I wrote it down. Lanolin, Carmex was the only lip balm that included lanolin, but we also said that lanolin can be, if it's used in the wrong way, it can be harmful. So maybe like testing lip balms with lanolin and seeing if like maybe it's just this lip balm that's.
Also, I think what we would look into more was Aquaphor and Vaseline were both like their main components were petroleum jelly. Oh yeah. And like I think we would look into like why Vaseline would work better than Aquaphor, even though they're both made up by petroleum jelly. So
Vaseline didn't have petroleum jelly.
Maybe like the
or Aquaphor didn't.
Yeah, they both did.
They both did. But yeah, so maybe like the other ingredients in the Aquaphor made the petroleum jelly not as effective.
Lord, do you have another question, or did you just?
Wait, like, since like you're at the start of when you showed the data table, you said that each one was gradually different. So when I apply, let's say Carmax or whatever it's called, to my lips, one time it could give me this result and another time it could give me another result.
Also, I mean, yeah, because when you like put on lip balm, it's not always like the same. Like it's not only with our trials, but like in real life, if you were to put on lip balm, you could be like eating things or stuff that like takes off the chapstick. And also, as we mentioned, like our errors, we had like stuff like our timers were like very laggy. So like one time it could have been like more laggy than the others, and there were just so many like components that like went in that it could have like really affected how the time.
We also didn't really have like, we were testing it and we didn't like have like we weren't like doing it as accurately till about the third trial. Like most of the, like, I mean, it's accurate, but we were still like, it was the beginning. We were trying something new. It was a new thing, like this whole.
We were gradually learning how to, like the 7th trial, we think had a lot less errors than the first trial. And we also had our first 3 trials that we ever did, we didn't even count in the data because we just like, it was just so hard to not mess up.
Do you have a sense of maybe why some of your trials were off by like 5 minutes plus with one particular kind of lip balm?
I wrote that down. I mean, I feel like I'm answering a lot. Does anyone else want to?
Oh, it's fine, Maya, you can say it.
Maybe like the amount of lip balm we applied, even if we like applied about the same amount, wherever the water is dropped, it wasn't spread out evenly, and it was kind of hard for us to see exact how much lip balm we did and how evenly it was spread out. And then, or maybe we dropped more water and it soaked through more easily. like the first trial, maybe like Carmex, you could see like by the third, fourth, and fifth trial is doing way longer. But then the first trial, it had like 35 seconds. So like maybe.
Also, it could have been that our lip balm wasn't completely, like, didn't completely cover the 2 centimeters, or we scraped a piece, like a part off. And like with water, it's if there's only a tiny bit of gap where there isn't lip balm on the paper, it'll soak through.
Yeah. Sam,
And
do you have another
we weren't looking at like it when the whole 2 centimeters squared is full of water. It's just as soon as a bit of water goes through the paper.
And that water could have been a small spot where there was like very little lip balm on it.
And as soon as we saw like anything from, that's why like in our first 2 trials we messed up a lot, because it's hard to tell. Like sometimes with the lip balm, you can like see the light come through the bottom. So we mistook that as water, and that's why we didn't like take like data from the first like.
That's why we did the median.
All right, great. If no one else has another thought, then that concludes our presentation.